If you see a book, a hoodie, my sister's shoes, don't mind that. It's okay. Hi, my name is initzamir, whatever you could pronounce. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite like childhood movies that I recently watched. But the real question about the movie is it good as I remember? I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm making this video. I was looking at something on YouTube and I see American Girl Leah to the Rescue movie. While looking at that thumbnail, I got flashbacks like I was in war. I was so obsessed with American Girl dolls. Two types of kids with American Girl dolls. The first kid is the kid who had dolls, yeah, plural, and had money for accessories and the extra clothes. Went to the cafe. The second kid, the one who didn't have enough money to buy American Girl doll and just watch American Girl doll related videos, the vlogs, the movies, the clips in their channel of different American Girl dolls. That's who I was. Dos. I was the number dos. Number dos. Girl, shut up. And then looking back of how depressing that was, I decided to watch Leah to the Rescue. That movie was the most action-packed movie I have seen in a while. And I saw John Wick before this. I understand John Wick could do a lot of stuff. Can he save a bunch of animals and his brother in Brazil? I don't think so. Watching this movie, I felt like, oh my god, my shoulder top, and it keeps going up. I just remember how interesting these movies were to me. So I kind of went to a rabbit hole of watching American Girl doll movies. One of the movies I watched was American Girl Grace Stares Up to Success. I remember this movie being my favorite movie out of the AGCU, American Girl Cinematic Universe. I made a name for it. Watching the movie, I was thinking, like, is it gonna be good as I was younger? I'm saying younger because I'm still young. Or maybe it's gonna be good as I was watching it when I was younger. Because I was a kid and I didn't even know my left to right yet. So starring in the movie is Olivia Rodrigo, who you may know is a singer slash songwriter. But I know her from this, okay? I know her from this movie. I remember when she got like really big, people are like, oh, like I remember her New Girl. Oh, I remember her. I remember her in Bizarre Varg. No, I remember her from Grace Stares Up to Success. Yeah, I'm an OG like that. I'm an OG. And literally she's right there. I got a vinyl and that was the picture, so the movie starts out with the main character, Grace, waking up after her alarm rings. She's awake. She's like, personally, that wouldn't be me because I'll have like 5 snooze and then I'll be like, oh shoot, it's almost 6:10. Let me get up. Her little main character thing, you know what they be doing. They do her montages of her getting an outfit, checking her list. Things have just begun, so world can feel inside. And going to her grandparents' house because they have a bakery and she's really interested in baking.
Sorry, Grace. I'm just about to set up.
One thing about the montage, they really have a problem with the refrigerator and ovens and all that stuff because they're old. They're really old. And we also find out that her grandparents had this bakery for over almost 40 years. After the montage, we see Grace watching Master Chef.
What it takes to be a master chef?
Which I remember I always wanted to be in. Like, I always had an obsession with those kids baking shows. But, like, the thing is, them kids were really talented and they didn't need recipes and it looked delicious and the judges said they were delicious. Not the kids. The food they made. Oh my god, that sounds so terrible. Like, I still mess up even if I have recipes. So that probably wasn't a good career path for me anyways. Her mother was telling her that
You should be on that show.
she should apply, but Grace is like, no, of course she's like, no, I'm not really that great, and she can't wait to watch the next season. After she goes back home to influence her parents to give her a new bike.
There might be one teensy, weensy little thing. I need a new bike.
But they're like, girl, that's really expensive and you gotta find a way to get a bike for yourself. And she has a great idea to get a bike by doing her own baking business. She tells her grandparents and they're like, yeah, of course. And then they start talking about a whole different thing. Basically,
That baking is a big part of this family. You, your Aunt Sophie.
Do you ever wish that Sophie'd stayed here at the bakery instead of moving to Paris?
Here this morning, and it sounds like she's getting pretty tired.
The baby's due pretty soon, isn't it?
to sum it up, they were talking about Grace's Aunt Sophie, who's in Paris working in a bakery and is pregnant right now. Graham over here pulls out a phone. Grace starts talking about how she loves baking and how she would love to own her grandparents' bakery.
Why would you like to run this bakery one day?
I don't know. I guess it's my dream. I love baking more than anything else. It's like when I'm baking, time just stops.
Grace is gonna make her own business. She needs help. So her and her friends really don't have anything to do for the summer, but they have some ideas.
So, what's the big news that you just had to tell us?
Oh, you know how we were trying to find something fun to do this summer?
Wait a minute. I thought we already did. Hello? Math camp! I still say we do art adventures at the Y.
Those are great ideas, but here's an even better one.
Grace is like, those are great ideas, but I have a better on up for it. Until she was like, oh, like a baking business.
I've already figured it all out. Welcome to the New England Cupcakery. Our new cupcake business.
We don't know how to bake.
And they're like, we don't know how to bake. What convinced them and agrees. They became pretty successful spinning, but until
Paris? What do you mean we're spending the summer in Paris?
The doctor put Aunt Sophie on bed rest until the baby comes, and she needs us to come and help.
Grace finds out that she has to go to Paris with her mom because her Aunt Sophie, who's pregnant, is on bed rest. Sophie needs help. Grace doesn't really like the idea because, she was really excited to get new bikes and, start her own business and spend time with her friends. As a good friend should, her friends were like, oh, Paris, that's like so cool. Like, you should definitely go. Grace is like, oh, but like, you guys won't get new bikes. But they're like, oh, we could still do a business. Grace is like, oh, but like, you don't know how to bake. They're like, well, we don't want to do a baking business. That's your thing. Which, ooh, yeah. And they kind of had an argument. And Grace basically said to them, like, oh, like, you guys are unorganized. I'm pretty good at organized. And it kind of upsetted one of them.
Hold up. What are you saying? You think we can't handle it on our own?
I didn't say that.
You didn't say it, but I think you meant.
Because it seemed like Grace thinks that they needed her help. And they decided to do their own dog walking business and hope she has a great time in Paris. Now they're in Paris and we meet Sophie's husband, Uncle B, who is also the head chef of the bakery, and his daughter, Sylvie.
And this is Grace. Grace, this is your Uncle Bernard.
Hello, Grace. Grace, I want you to meet your cousin Sylvie. I think you two will have a lot of fun this summer.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Grace.
And her and Grace shares a room, which for someone who's organized, Grace, you're pretty messy with your room.
I sleep, you sleep.
Great. Thanks.
Really, but like when she walks out for like 10 seconds, yes, I counted, it's all cleaned.
Adapter to charge my iPad. It's in my purse, sweetheart. Can you find it? Yeah, I got it.
Sylvie girl, show me your ways. How can you clean like that? The next day, her and her mom decides to go to the bakery because Uncle B said that she could help out with the bakery. She meets Colette, who also works in the bakery.
Je te présente ma cousine Grace. Oh, nice to meet you, Grace. I'm Colette.
And there was a dish that Grace wanted to help out. And when Grace was was trying to help, Uncle B is like, no, that's not it. I don't like that.
No.
He didn't even try it yet. See, with him, he likes everything to be right, to be perfect, and follow orders. And he kind of gives grace that not everyone is gonna like what everyone likes.
But I made it the same way I make my pineapple upside down cake, and everyone loves my pineapple upside down cake.
No, not everyone.
Which, dang, that hits deep for a 10-year-old. But she's like, how am I supposed to help? And he's like,
We need your help. Could you please refill the napkin holders out front?
Napkins?
you could do those napkins. And then she finds out her friends are doing pretty good with their business and doing good without her.
The Bedwick Pasta! Sorry, Grace. We gotta go. Yeah, bye. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye. I miss you.
We also see Sylvie wants to spend time more with her dad, but obviously Uncle B is a bit, busy at the moment with the bakery and the baby on the way.
Je suis désolé, ma chérie. Il faut que je termine ce livre et il faut que je termine aussi l'inventaire pour la pâtisserie.
Grace and Sylvie don't really talk because Grace assumed that she doesn't speak English, but she does.
We can be shy. Are you two getting along okay?
It's just hard since she doesn't speak English.
Yes, she does. Sylvie studies English at school.
Seriously?
She does really good, actually. She acted like she didn't know how to speak English because she didn't know what to say to Grace, which that's understandable. And then she kind of told Grace's off a bit about like how what's up with her room and all the stuff that's like wrong with her, and Grace is like, oh, okay. Anyways, Uncle B and Grace sees this man, and Grace is like, who is that? Uncle B is like, oh, that's like, it's the owner of one of the best hotels in the town.
I would love to do business with him. I've tried to meet with him many times, but he gets his dessert from the biggest, fanciest bakery in all of Paris, and I am just the local patisserie.
In the bakery, Grace decides to try to help again, and she causes a little bit of trouble. And every time she makes a mistake, she talks to her mom, and her mom said she decides to make things better and learn by how they do stuff and practice, etc. But there's a problem. Sophie, Grace's aunt, wants to take her to the Eiffel Tower, but Grace's mom doesn't think that's a good idea because she's like close to labor. Like, she can't be doing that like that. But Uncle B was like, no, it's fine. Like, if the baby doesn't come out for a while, so let's go. While on the trip, Sophie has the baby. It's a bit chaotic.
He's having a baby! Why am I telling you this? You know, the baby! Out of my way! I have everything under control! Which way?
My way.
No, my way! The road is wider!
There's construction.
But when the baby is born, Sylvie seems very distant because it's probably difficult to have all of a sudden a new family, especially when one of your parents kind of has a new life with a new family, has a new kid, and more. And Sylvie tells Grace why she feels that way, and Grace makes her feel better by saying, "Hey, you have more family now. My grandparents is your grandparents," and that's like really sweet. After that heartbreaking scene, they decide to dance. Remember the dude from the hotel? Grace thinks let him try one of the pastries. It will give the bakery a good rep. But they have a problem. It's kind of difficult to give him it because, he's a busy man and they're kids. So they're probably not going to be able to go to the hotel and be like, hey, so we want to. Why did I give them a British accent? Finally found a way to do this by a dog, apparently. Apparently, the hotel called Uncle B and say they want to get the pastries for his next upcoming party.
And you did. Jean-Luc wants me to provide all of the desserts for his annual Bastille party.
While figuring out, what to do for the party, he realizes that he really hasn't spending time with Sylvie.
Sylvie, you want to ride over in the van with me to the Tuileries? I need to go early to set up.
Okay. Grace and I can.
I was thinking just you, and then maybe get hot chocolate on the way.
I mean, like, it's the place we used to before school in the morning. Okay, I'll go get dressed.
Tried to make up for it, which Sylvie appreciate. And after the party, it worked. Everyone loves it, and now the bakery is having a full success. But it's time for Grace and her mom to go. Finally, Grace is home, and while her friends were talking about the business and how they were doing great, she says, "Oh, like she wants to help for the business." And they're like, "Oh my god, like that will help a lot." And she talks about like, "Oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this." I think Grace has a controlling issue, which I don't know what to say about that. They realize her helping is kind of like controlling the business, and that's their business. And they're kind of fed up, like, oh, like you think everything's about you. But after that, she found out that her grandparents.
They're so far behind in the mortgage payments, I don't see how.
So sad to think of closing down your mom and dad's bakery after all these years.
Grandma and Grandpa's bakery is closing?
Are closing the bakery because they don't have enough money, and not a lot of people are going to the bakery. After convincing her parents to try to save the bakery, she apologized to her friends and they apologized to her, and we find out that their business wasn't actually successful.
I'm really sorry for everything I said yesterday.
We're sorry. Actually, the pasta isn't going quite as great as we made it sound. We don't have a ton of customers like we said. More like what?
But now they're changing the bakery, teaching the grandparents how to account money, which how does a 10-year-old know how to account money? I don't even know how to do that yet. More people are going to the bakery, which is great, but they still need more money to save the bakery. And remember that old oven? Yeah, they can't use that anymore. That thing was destroyed.
Nothing can stop us now.
That.
Can we fix it?
Absolutely.
Sorry for the lighting. It's getting really dark. It's almost 5, so I gotta do this real quick. Obviously, you can't do baking without an oven. Oh, Grace was looking at her computer and she checked her emails and saw a Master Chef Junior email, and she found out that she's actually a contestant for Master Chef Junior. I realized that her grandma signed up for her, and they showed them the video that they took of her before. They took as that if the winner gets $100,000, so she will have enough money for her grandparents' bakery. Now, this Master Chef scene was the most vivid I remember about this movie, because I remember being obsessed. I had it a phase of MasterChef Junior. But during the first challenge, Grace decides to do her grandma's famous dish, which is a pineapple upside down cake. Maybe because everyone likes it. Grinning and smiling, she's like, "Ooh, like pineapple for my grandma's dish," and
Grandma's pineapple upside down cake.
but before she got it, this annoying kid grabs it, and she's like, "Hey, I was gonna get that," and he's like, "Oh, so sad."
Hey, I was gonna use that. Sorry. I hope you know another cake recipe.
So depressing. That's so sad. The boy had me frustrated when I was younger. I remember wanting to punch that dude in the face. And the thing about it, he didn't even use it. He didn't even use it for his dish. So what the heck? He just had it there. But she had it. Sorry, that was a lot of anger. But she has an alternative and decides to use apples, and it worked. She made it to the next round. For the final round, they decide for the kids to use a unique ingredient to make a unique dish. And before she got her stuff, she's like, "Ooh, vinegar!" And then she had a full on, thing with the little like voices.
But here is my last lesson to you. The je ne sais quoi is something you keep learning. It will be different for every dish. Take risks. That's how you make amazing things happen.
Up the violets that were there for decoration, and she used them for the dish. And then, like, while baking, she starts to dance. And literally, that's kind of me waiting for my ramen. And then it was her turn to show her cake. And there's one word to describe this cake. How? That's the word. That's the word. How?
A croquembouche.
Because, like, she made a whole a traditional French wedding cake, but instead of I don't even know what the word is. Instead she used macaroons. And guess who won? Grace! Ha 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 ha! Joke's on you, little kid. And she saved her grandparents' bakery, and she got the cute dog in the end. This movie's kind of great. But, like, we kind of find out Grace. I didn't realize Grace is a bit controlling. Also, we could tell who the favorite is in the family. It's Grace herself. We could tell because she's so, like, everyone loves her. Like, we could tell because she has a sibling. She has a brother in the movie. So you could tell who's the favorite. But yeah, I thought I was gonna make fun of it more, but I didn't, which oops. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you enjoy the video, go like, subscribe, and comment down below and how you feel about it. If you guys want me to talk about another movie from my childhood, I would definitely do that. I act like I'm not in my childhood still. I'm 15. You guys enjoy, and sorry for the lighting for like the half to the end. It's almost 5. Okay, bye.